Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the show. I am Brett the Jet in the booth here with Turn 3 Racing Network, and tonight we have a good one here. It is the Lonestar 225 here at Texas Motor Speedway, and this will make up, I believe, race number 14 of the 802 Winston Cup Series. And I tell you what, with race number 14 underway, we draw then one race closer to the playoffs, kicking off after tonight, I believe, in 4 more races. So that is right around the corner here tonight. We have a large field, 32 cars, ready to do battle here at Texas. Right now, a driver that is familiar with wins at 1.5 miles. The 97 machine of Jeff Pogo leads the time and charts here in practice. Sam Harrell in second, Chris Brown third, Jim Ott fourth, and Anthony Calatoni in fifth. We've seen it done once already this season. A driver gets their first win of the career, able to go back to back. Mike Kelly in that 43 machine, gonna try and do that here tonight as we click on over to qualifying here, just like we've had all season long here. Qualifying will be 2 laps here timed, and of course taking your best of those 2 laps to set tonight's starting lineup for the Lonestar 225. As we get some cars here rocking and rolling to the speedway. Looks like one of the first cars out here will be the 30 machine of Ariba Caton. So Caton will get that car up to speed here. We'll see where the 30 machine can go. Looks like now quite a few more cars out on track. I want to say about 10 to 15 of them out here right at the start to take a lap. So we'll see where things shake on out here as a 30 machine is on the clock here and already through turn 1, heading off of turn number 2 here. And as you can see with Texas, big wide sweeping corner there in 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Much more preferred to be on that bottom side, and of course you got to watch out for that big bump right there in the middle of turn 4. But the 30 machine looking pretty sporty. Lap number 1, able to throw down a 29.86 by the 30 machine. Looks like right now Mike Kelly, last week's winner, right now with the quick time at the moment, 29.14 for the 43. Jeff Pogo slots in just behind with a 29.16. Caden here on lap 2 of 2 in qualifying. We'll see where he can go, see if he can improve. He does improve 29.63, but will stay here to P number 14 for the time being. We now pick on up here with the 84 machine. This is Anthony Calatoni. Calatoni, of course, looking pretty sporty in practice with that P number 5. We'll look to see where he can slot on in as Jim Ott goes to quick time. So Ott in the 4 machine throws down a 29.11. Calatoni now will beat that with a 29.06. Looks like Calatoni gonna shut it on down, but right now with the provisional pole for the time being. Another driver here rolling out to the Speedway. Chad Coleman, he has had some speed in this 38 machine. Just has to put one together to end up in victory lane. But I think in all of his starts so far, been up in that top 5 for most of it. As we'll see where Coleman can go as he will take the green flag here. Nice and smooth, exactly what you got to do there in lap number 1, especially turns 1 and 2. You know, you don't want to throw away a lap by overdriving that turn number 1 entry. Very easy to do with that little banking, but Coleman here looking like a great first lap. The 38 machine will put in at 29.27, so might have lost a little bit there through 3 and 4. As it looks like here so far, 27 cars have taken a time here tonight. But it is Anthony Calatoni still at the top of the board. We'll see if Coleman can improve here on lap number 2. Remember, lap number 1, 29.27, so looking about 2/10. Only able to maybe get about a 10th out of it, as Chad Coleman will slot into P number 9 with a 29.20. We now take a look here at the 41 machine. We'll see what Charles can slot on in here as he will take the green flag here towards the end of qualifying. May have a chance probably only to get the first lap in here, so the 41's got to be on his marks here for just one lap, because already less than 30 seconds here left in qualifying. So if a driver's not already out on track, you know, they're definitely not going to have time to complete a lap. As Charles Van Schaik here across the line, he will jump up to 23rd, Devin McCaffrey 18th, and Brian Wertman 20th. Now looks like that will be the final changes here in qualifying, but it looks like here tonight, walking away with the Riptide Radio Pole Award, that will go to the driver of the 84 machine, Anthony Calatoni, walking away with the pole award here tonight from Texas, and of course will lead the field to the green flag. Speaking about heading the field to the green flag, how about we get on ready and head through tonight's starting lineup here tonight for the Lonestar 225. So here we go. Tonight's starting lineup will look like the following. Anthony Calatoni will lead the field to the green flag in the 84. To his outside, the driver of the number 4. It is Jim Ott leading the outside of the front row. Mike Kelly here picking up the win last week. He will start very nicely here tonight. The 43 machine will roll off P number 3. And to his outside, our current points leader here, it is the 97 machine of Jeff Pogo. Johnny Barker, another great driver in qualifying. He will put the 6th car in P number 5. It is Johnny Barker. And to his outside, his teammate, the 61. He has picked up a pole award already this season. Up on the podium, I believe, last week. Yes, he was. He finished P number 2. He rolls off 6 here tonight. It is the 61 of Steve Ritter. Josh Parker in the 81 machine, he will roll off P number 7, as well as Shannon Wood in the 02 will start in 8th. Chad Coleman in the 38 machine will start in P number 9, and rounding out the top 10, the 33 of Scott Simley. Richard Beasley in the 10 machine will start 11th, 12th going to Sam Harold in the 42. Starting 13th is Nick Larson in the 2. Rob Lowell in that 21 machine will roll off in 14th. Chris Proger in the 7 will start 15th. 16th going to Cody Meadows in the 19. Kip Easley will start 17th. 18th going to Devin McCaffrey. Starting in P number 19th is Frank Zingen. Brian Wortman rounds out the top 20. 21st goes to Brandon Guerin. Joey Gattina rolls off 22nd. 23rd is Chris Van Schaik. 24th is Kenny Reel. Good to see Kenny out here tonight. And don't be fooled, that 11 machine might be towards the front here before it's all said and done. Eli Raposo will start 25th, 26th going to Chris Brown. Ariba Caton will start 27th. 20th is Rob Holyfield, landing on it, rolling off 29th. And Bentley Glazer will start 30th. Gerald Livingston will start 31st. And Steve Vest will round out the field here tonight. 32 cars getting ready to take the green flag here as a field getting ready to rock and roll. Anthony Calatoni, Jim Ott on the front row as here we go. The iRacing pace car down on pit road, and Anthony Calatoni here will lead the field to the green flag as we go green flag racing here at Texas. Jim Ott, maybe a little bit of wheel spin, maybe not quite on the tree there with the reaction, as he will lose a handful of spots by the time they get through turns 1 and 2. Then, of course, the longer distance on around, it looks like Ott will fall back to P number 5 just in one corner. Josh Parker here quickly on the move, deeper in the field, 3 wide. Steve Ritter up on the top side. So far, everyone's able to make it work, but that could have been very, very sketchy there. Especially as these tires start to go away. Here at Texas, it may seem like a nice wide track, got a lot of grip, can kind of put the car wherever, but once the grip starts going away, man, those walls will start reaching out and grabbing you, especially off of turn number 4 as well as turn number 2. As out in front, things kind of cooling on off, but here right around the top 5, still going at it as Jim Ott, Chad Coleman, some side drafting maybe a little bit down that front, or back straightaway, as right behind them, wow, big time sideways, Richard Beasley somehow hangs onto that tide ride, but holy smokes, he was looking about 30 degrees off of where you want to be pointed, but somehow will hang onto that race car. Not sure if he got some help there from Jeff Pogo in the back end, but Beasley here starting off this race with a big time save here tonight. So that has really calmed things on down. Now inside the top 10, let's make it. Right around the 15th position here, we see Rob Lowell. He's rocking a different paint scheme here tonight. He's out there in the green machine number 21 as Rob will slot to lane number 2, maybe try and get some of that clean air, and that's going to be the name of the game here tonight at Texas, trying to keep some clean air on your nose in the corners, but then of course trying to get as much of the draft you can down the straightaways. Chad Coleman here was, looks like, passed up by the 97 machine of Jeff Pogo, so Coleman thought about maybe making a little bit of move back to the inside, but right in front of them, Jim Ott, he started P number 2, he's trying to get back up there, as we see now Ott trying to work over the 6th machine of Johnny Barker. Those two will go side by side here through 1 and 2. Barker's going to be big time loose there off of turn number 2. He just got on the throttle probably just a little bit too early, and without that banking that you get in 3 and 4, you can definitely light them on up as we actually get our first caution here on the Speedway. And trying to figure out where this caution may have come from, but currently under our first caution of the evening, and oh no, It looks like the 11 machine of Kenny Real wounded in this one. So we will have to see what happened to the 11 of Kenny Real here, but under our first caution here on lap number 7, and this replay shows it a little bit too late as Kenny Real already hard into the outside wall, able to yank that car down. You can see already the right front broke on that race car. Looks like the 60 machine of Steve Vest will get a little bit of damage from that. So here we go. Let's see what happened to the 11 of Kenny Real going through turns 1 and 2. Having Steve Ritter to his inside here, but still plenty of room. Oh, yes, we're maybe a few laps off of when the actual incident happened. As let's see if this might paint a different picture here. So Kenny Real working over his teammate Frank Zing in there. Those two side by side for the time being. Oh, Kenny Real just went over a bump. You saw the back end step out from that race car, and then from there just trying to hang on to it. And yeah, that is what happened there. Just found a wrong bump here at Texas. Very easy to do, and especially these low profile tires. These cars are already so close to the ground that you go over a bump, it pretty much instantly overloads the tires, bottoms the car out, and you're pretty much just along for the ride. So people wonder, man, does bumps, like, I hear people talking about it, mention them, doesn't make that big of a difference. That it doesn't, especially on the sim where, you know, you don't get a good, let's say, lateral feel of cars, because there's no way to really do that without that, you know, going over a bump and then all of a sudden having to go. You're pretty much along for the ride. You pretty much get one quick shot at trying to save it. Kenny Real tried it and just quite wasn't enough. I mean, he could have hit that wall a lot harder though, but it looks like though Kenny Real's still down on pit road, probably going to be done for the night here, as it looks like lights are out on the pace car as we are getting ready to go back to green flag racing here. So we'll head back over here to green flag racing on lap number 11. So first 10 laps saw caution. A lot of intense racing here to kick things on off. I have a feeling that will be the same because like we've seen a lot with these mile-and-a-half races, track position matters. That clean air makes a big difference. Dang, Kenny, yeah, I kind of speculated that with you still down on pit road there, that your night's probably done. That's a tough break, though, because you're making your way back through that field already, so a bummer there. Hopefully your luck turns on around as we get ready to head back to green flag racing. Calatoni and Kelly on the front row. Anthony Calatoni once again fires on off nicely. Mike Kelly right there, and once again, Jim Ott a little bit off on the restarts there, as Ott will check up that second lane there, as it looks like once again Ott falling outside of the top 5 right on a restart. So right behind them, 3 wide here into turn number 3. So that's what a line can kind of do without a driver going, really stacking on up, create a lot of frenzy, and a lot of people maybe feeling pretty optimistic with some moves. And right now quite a few drivers worked out nicely. I mean, we gotta look up towards the front here. Jeff Pogo now battling with Josh Parker for a podium spot. Parker will hang on to it for the time being and actually have a big run here at Mike Kelly for second. So Kelly will go up to that kind of third lane there to miss the bump in the second. Parker will hang on right on his back bumper here. Mike Kelly's still up in those other lanes, so maybe trying to experiment a little, just trying to see what's out there on the racetrack. As once again, cars fanning on out down the back straightaway. Looks like Frank Zingen may have gotten the wall there. You can see a little bit of damage on the right front quarter panel there of the 62. Looks like he will be able to slot in the line around the 18th position for the time being, but man, this Gallego cars, I see them fanning out every straightaway. They're still kind of going at it here. Richard Beasley there in the Tide 10 machine with that big save earlier in the race. Devin McCaffrey in there. Joey Gattina, Rob Lowell, as well as Shannon Wood, all in the thick of it. A great battle here from right around 13th through 16th right here. Oh, as maybe contact, I think definitely contact there. Rob Bull and Joey Gattina, a little bit of contact, so the 21 machine, even with that little bit of contact, just waiting on the throttle. You can see how sideways you can get as one car, big time sideways. Ariba Kayan with a save there. He will continue to be out of sorts, and oh man, big time hit to the outside wall. I thought Kayan had it saved there, but looks like the final little bit got him. Hard impact to the outside wall, and looks like the 30 machines night gonna be done here on lap 17. That right front definitely busted on that race car. I gotta say, no change out in front. Anthony Calatoni leading the way over Mike Kelly. Josh Parker hangs on at third, but the biggest mover of the night so far is up to P number 4, Chris Proger, with a new paint scheme on the number 7 machine, and that thing is looking very sporty out here tonight. He is up inside the top 5 in P number 4, and he has moved up 11 positions in these first 18 laps. So we look through the field here, and everyone has kind of broken into the pace they want to kind of run. No one's really battling for a position. Closest one right here we're looking at as Jeff Pogo will send it on into the inside of the 7 there into turn number 3. And that's what's going to be really interesting to see during this run here, is how much does it make a difference of saving some tires versus keeping that pace? Because we even heard, even at Bristol, it was not too much tire wear compared to the pace. We'll see if that's the same here. Wow, what a move by Mike Kelly to get the lead from Calatoni, and then to get that car sideways, hang on to it, and keep the race lead here at the stripe. New race leader Mike Kelly in the 43 machine. He is looking to go 2 in a row. Right behind him, Josh Parker now trying to get around the 84 of Calatoni. Parker down low here in the 81 here, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, first start for the 81 of Parker. Roger's still stuck up in that second lane here, gonna try and get around Jeff Pogo the tough way there. As wow, I'm amazed he was able to make it stick up there. I mean, the 7 machine of Chris Proger definitely turning up the wick now, saying, hey, I want to try and keep this track position up here, as him and Pogo almost make contact there off of turn number 4. But yeah, I was amazed last time by here. This 7 machine drives it in there deep, lets that car wash on up. This time a little bit lower on the racetrack. The last time he was right about that top seam there. I was very impressed by the move from the 7. One car a little bit slow here. Nick Larson. Looks like Larson got a big time piece of the outside wall. And very similar situation to the 30. It looks like Larson's right front broke on that race car. His night will probably be done. As we are seeing cars start to move higher and higher up on the racetrack, and that tells me one thing: these race cars are starting to get tight, or another way to put it, these cars aren't turning the way they were. If you know they were turning to, let's say, 9 o'clock before, now they got to turn it to like 8 o'clock to make it stick. So instead of slowing down, you can also move up the racetrack, make the arcs of the corner a little bit wider, have less wheel in it, and that's what it seems like a lot of people are doing, because with a tight race car, it's tough to pass on the bottom side. So it seems like also people are trying to protect that right rear quarter panel, trying to prevent the guy behind them from getting to that. So Mike Kelly here still leads over Calatoni. Josh Parker hanging out in 3rd. Chris Proger hanging on to 4th. And battle for 5th here as Scott Simley, Jeff Pogo, they got very close there on the exit of 2. It looks like Simley will take the position. Jim Ott kind of rode on around in 7th there, and right now making it work as he is right there on the tail of his teammate Cody Meadows. Once again, another deep start here in the race, but once again Cody Meadows inside the top 10. He's riding around in the 8th position here for the time being. Sam Harrell in 9th, and Kip Easley, another one of those drivers you gotta watch out for when this checkered flag falls, because it seems like that 8 car sits in a pretty good spot. Looks like another car slow here on the apron. The 60 machine of Steve Vest. We saw him get in that first caution there, and once again going to bring that car down on pit road. Just a heads up, if you hear any word from any of your favorite drivers how they're doing, let me know. But yeah, it looks like so far here tonight, about 4 drivers already done and retired here in these first 30 laps. So Texas definitely took out a few of them here, but still majority of the field here rocking and rolling and putting on a great show here. As here we go, Cody Meadows starting to put some pressure on Jim Ott. I say let's ride on board with Cody Meadows. See what a lap is like here around the Texas Motor Speedway, especially in some traffic and some cars duking it out right in front of you here. You can see right there, Cody Meadows goes to the top side, gets a big run, very, very close to the wall, but was able to keep it off there, and then just gets a massive run. Will get a run to the inside of Ott, but now with Ott on the top side, you can see the momentum he has down the front straightaway, and there you go, Sam Harrell able to get to the outside of Meadows. So that's the other thing you gotta watch out for. If you go on the attack, that could lead you open to be an attack if the pass doesn't go your way. But as you can hear, here at Texas, a lot of speed, a lot of throttle time, so it's all about that pace and what you can run. As out in front, new race leader here, his first times ever leading a lap, the 81 of Josh Parker leads the point over now Mike Kelly and Anthony Calatoni. Those 3 all under a blanket here, and have checked on out from 4th on back, who is Scott Simley and Chris Proger. And Mike Kelly able to make the move on back. You saw him get the run down the back straightaway, was able to run the low line through 3 and 4 and actually clear Parker by the time they got off of turn number 4 there. So Mike Kelly back to the point for the time being. A few cars going on at it. Jeff Pogo and Chris Proger, those two are putting on a heck of a show here for that 5th position. Seeing some big time moves being made by many of these drivers just to get a pass done. Because they know at worst case, you know, you're probably splitting this race up, you know, probably into thirds if you can. So hitting right about every 50 laps or so. I would be very impressed if a driver could make it 75 laps here. So if that's not the case, you might as well split it up evenly. And wow, Simley and Pogo, and then Brecken behind Chris Proger involved. This guy has no luck this season as he is involved in the second incident here on the Speedway. Sam Harrell also getting a piece of it, as well as a 38 machine of Chad Coleman. So that one may have started with contact between Jeff Pogo and Scott Simley, and then maybe some of these guys may have reacted to that. So let's take a look here. Slowed on down as no, those guys were sorted on out. It looks like Harold just into the left rear of Chris Proger. I mean, we'll have to take a look at it one more time from a different camera angle, but I think we might have to back it on up just a little bit. See if backing it up sees a little bit more of a picture, as there is Simley getting sideways. Then Chris Proger here, he was sideways through the corner, so may have had some wheel spin, and Sam Harrell maybe didn't have enough time to react, but it looks like Cody Meadows maybe got a little bit of damage. And then you can see the hit to the right side of Chad Coleman. So Coleman's only going to have some right side kind of door damage. I think the driver to be on the worst on that, probably Chris Proger as well as Sam Harrell. Both of them getting some pretty significant damage in that one. So at this point, most drivers can probably make it here from a one stop. So we see the whole entire field here down on pit road. So as the field is down on pit road, we'll go to a wide shot here, see who wins the race off of pit road. As it was Mike Kelly leading the way on down, he will be the first on off. It looks like Cal Tony's going to lose quite a few spots, as he did not have a good pit stop there. Total time in the box, 16 seconds for the 84, whereas, you know, Mike Kelly had like a 14.8, so definitely losing a little bit of time there on pit road is the 84, so it's going to have to be a little bit deeper in the field than he has been used to. Alright, so here we go. Lights are once again extinguished here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Mike Kelly and Josh Parker, both of them on the front row. Then row number 2 is Jeff Pogo, Jim Ott. Row number 3, Anthony Calatoni, Scott Simley. Row number 4, Cody Meadows, as well as Richard Beasley. And row number 5, Joey Gattina and Kip Easley. So that'll round out the top 10 here on this restart. Second restart of the night here, coming at you in just one moment. So here we go. iRacing pace car down on pit road. Mike Kelly will go nice and early there. Kelly's going to get a great launch over the rest of the field. It looks like Josh Parker will lose P number 2 to Jeff Pogo there into turn number 1. Jim Otto a little bit loose down on the bottom side. Here comes Anthony Galatoni though with a run. Galatoni will take a peek to the inside of Jim Ott there. Looks like for the time being, those two will go side by side. Ott will try and keep the momentum rocking and rolling, but Galatoni's putting up a good fight on that inside lane. Right behind them, Cody Meadows waits for them to kind of sort themselves out, see what lane he wants, as looks like Ott will hang on to P number 4 for that time being. Chris Brown here in the blue number 52, trying to work his way back up through the field. Brown, of course, started deep in this one, 26. He is at least up into the top 20. Right behind them, involved with probably the least amount of damage during that last yellow is the 38 machine of Coleman. He's trying to get on through one car down low. That is the 8 machine of Kip Easley. And it looks like that will draw our third caution of the evening. I tell you what, turns 1 and 2 have seemed very, very treacherous. I mean, like I said before, already knocking out around 6 cars, and this one taking another one here, as I for sure easily can keep it going, but another car falling victim to 1 and 2 as we take a look to see what happened to Kip Easley here. And Easley once again getting sideways in the middle of 1 and 2, right in that second lane, very similar to what we saw with Kenny Reel earlier in the race. Then Easley down on the apron. He did a good job at keeping it out of the racing lane, and everyone around him good heads up racing, as it looks like Easley might just kind of easily and slowly kind of slide it towards that inside wall. Definitely make some decent contact with it, but could have been a lot worse. So Kip Easley night will continue, but gonna have a little bit of damage on that race car. So with us under our third caution, I'll take a break from yapping here for a quick second and send it on over to our partners over at Premier Setup Shops. So Brian Wortman here in the 74 machine was able to get the lucky dog there. So I think that'll put us right around 29 cars still on the lead lap, at least for the time being. As this time by at the stripe, Mike Kelly will once again get the choose here. Looks like he will choose the inside lane, so that'll put Jeff Pogo on the outside of the front row. Rest of the field will double it on up where iRacing tells you. And we'll get ready to try and head back to some green flag racing here. As definitely some people figured out, but cold tires definitely makes this car a little bit looser. Everyone was used to this car kind of being on the tighter side, slapping some new tires on it. Maybe caught some drivers off guard, but you definitely want to avoid those bumps in that second lane, both in 1 and 2, as we saw multiple times here tonight, but also in turns 3 and 4 as well. As here we get ready to go once again. Mike Kelly, Jeff Pogo here on the front row. As Kelly will fire on off nice and early. Once again, gets a great start here on the field. Top four going to kind of be in their own little zip code heading into turn number one. As they will almost go three wide for a second as Josh Parker and Jeff Pogo both side by side here. It looks like Parker will reclaim P number 2 for the time being. I tell you what, Mike Kelly has seemed calm, cool, and collected out in front of this field. And we'll see if that changes with now Josh Parker starting to put some big time pressure here on our race leader. Quite a few cars going around trying to see what kind of runs they can generate. Brandon Guerin here inside the top 10. He sets P number 9 as they were just able to get around Scott Simley there in the 33. Now Rob Lowe will try and do the same there in the 21 right there as well. Okay, Lowell will be able to do that. So the 21 machine inside the top 10 here. As a battle for second here, kicking on off Jeff Pogo, starting to let that thing sing in that second lane here. As Josh Parker definitely let him on up there here for the time being. Mike Kelly, though, running that lane, trying to take that line away a little bit from that 97, but Pogo will hang on to that and get P number 2 on back. Another driver here making, I believe, their first ever start here in the 802 iRacing League. Here is the 36 Mountain Dew machine of Bentley Lasser. Lasser here trying to drive his way up into the top 10. And right now this 36 car is the biggest mover. He is trying to get 18 positions on up if he can get around the 29 there of Devin McCaffrey. McCaffrey also looking pretty sporty after taking those tires as he'll get to the outside of Simley. As Simley, wow, a big time moment there off the turn number 2 for the 33 machine. Somehow able to hang on to the race car, but gonna lose a handful of spots though with it. I say with these kind of cars, everyone's kind of spread on out for the time being. 1 or 2 battles. So with that, I say we do a little turn 3, turn it up, and I'll take a break from yapping and let the cars do the talking here. Alrighty, we head back up here. Only real change, Josh Parker able to get back by Jeff Pogo here, and Parker once again starting to put some pressure on our race leader. A few laps ago, I saw race leader Mike Kelly big time sideways there in 1 and 2. He's running that treacherous middle line here as Jim Ott out of control down the back straightaway. Ott will try and save it. He cannot. And it looks like it involves a 10 machine as well. So Jim Ott with a lot of damage. Same with the 10 of Richard Beasley. Beasley had that great save early in the race. Might be all for naught though. Let's take a look here. See what happened to Jim Ott is already Ott out of control a little bit. So we'll take a look here once again. See what happened to Jim Ott off of turn number 2. Yeah, and Jim Ott just no contact from the back, just got loose, arrow tight, and then the combo with that just had the rear tires brake traction and just had it saved just about, and then Richard Beasley having nowhere to go will tag the 44 machine in a big way. The rest of the field though does a great job at avoiding Jim Ott right there in the racing lane, as the night of the Ford machine will come to an end right there. Under this caution here, looks like the 60 machine of Steve Vest going to be the lucky dog here, so Vest out here involved in the first incident of the night, trying to rebound a decent finish as cars continuing to fall on out of this race here. But I tell you what, Mike Kelly, like I said before, calm, cool, and collected out in front. Has had some pressure from the 81, the 97, and so far has been able to hold his own out in front. But we may have some new challengers here as Cody Meadows now up into 4th. Anthony Calatoni here back to the top 5. And look at this, Joey Gattina up into 6th. Brandon Guerin 7th. Rob Lowell 8th. Devin McCaffrey 9th. Bentley Glasser here rounding out the top 10 on this restart. So 4th restart of the night here just before the halfway point in the Lonestar 225 about to be underway here at Texas. So last couple times here, Mike Kelly has gone really early. We'll do the same here once again, as Mike Kelly gets a great jump. Side by side for second though, as they dive down into turn number 1 here once again. Jeff Pogo down low, Josh Parker up top. Parker big time sideways. Parker into the outside wall. Josh Parker from second there, because I think got the bump or maybe overdrove it a little bit. And once again, like we've seen all night long, without that banking, that back end steps on out and you get one save, and that time once again just wasn't that perfect input to save it, but Parker will try and continue on. No caution on the Speedway. We stay green. So Jeff Pogo here up into P number 2. Cody Meadows now up into a podium spot as Meadows will try and run down Jeff Pogo here and our race leader Mike Kelly. Right there behind them, Joey Cantina sits in 4th as Anthony Calatoni here trying to race his way back into the top 5 here. Him and Brandon Guerin side by side. No more as 84 will be able to clear the one there off of turn number 2. Two teammates here duking it out for position, the 21 and the 61 here. Ritter down low, Lowell up top. As right in front of them, Devin McCaffrey trying to get around Brandon Guerin. McCaffrey seems like he has just been getting faster as the night has gone on, so keep an eye on this 29 machine. McCaffrey up 12 positions from where he started tonight. As right there, McCaffrey a little bit loose just after the apex, but able to hang on to the race car. But that right there is what everyone is trying to sort themselves out with and trying to find the limit without going over it. Battle here between the 52 and the 62 here. Frank Zingen down low, Chris Brown up top right behind them. Cars that may have a little bit of damage, Kip Easley and Sam Harrell, but both those cars looking pretty repaired and looking halfway decent. As Zingen able to hold the 52 on back for the time being. Now going to try and get on around. Trouble for the 86 as Anthony Calatoni here spinning through the infield grass on the front straightaway. So Calatoni will get that car rolling. It looks like no damage to that race car, but that will draw our 5th caution of the night. And it's going to put drivers in a very interesting spot. They last pitted lap 36, so these tires now have about 30 laps on them once again, but then they only have one more set of tires, so we'll see if anyone's thinking that, hey, this might go for a long green flag run after this. But definitely an opportunity here for someone to really get crazy with some strategy here tonight. As we take a look here at Anthony Calatoni, and let's see, does the turn 4 bump get a driver? As there, I didn't really see the back end kind of hop on around or anything like that. It looks like the back end just walking on out from the 84 Calatoni. Then he'll go for a long slide here through the infield grass, and single car incident, no harm, no foul. But like I said before, drawing our 5th caution here, and looks like we'll keep an eye here, see if any takers down on pit road. It looks like some fake outs being done, but no one coming on down for the time being. Everyone's still out on the racetrack here. It looks like maybe some takers deeper in the field trying to get some damage done. Remember, the 81 of Josh Parker got in the wall big time. Wasn't able to get the car repaired. Now he has a chance to do that right now under this 5th caution. As it looks like once again under a caution condition, Steve S will get yet another lucky dog, so make that number 2 of the night for the 60 machine. So he will get ever so closer to being back on the lead lap here. So, two very different tracks here from last week of Bristol. You know, short track, half mile, close racing. Here tonight, mile and a half, much more aero sensitive, very line sensitive. So, a lot of differences, but one similar. Two drivers that were up in the top 5 when the checkered flag fell. Mike Kelly and Jeff Pogo. Both those drivers on the front row here once again for the 5th restart of the night of this one, just before the halfway point. As we get back racing here, we will be on lap 69 of 150. And when it's all said and done, still 27 cars out there on the racetrack. 26 of them still on the lead lap, with Steve Vest getting back on the lead lap now. As here we go. Mike Kelly and Jeff Pogo side by side on the front row. Like I said before, Kelly has been going nice and early. We'll see if he does the same. Yes, he does, but Pogo gets a good start. But man, Cody Meadows, a better start. Cody Meadows now up into P number 2 as he gets a great start. And it seems like definitely a disadvantage to start on the outside of the front row. We've seen it all night long that the driver in second will lose that position and slot back into P number 3 when it's all said and done here. A lot of racing out here on the Speedway, side by side racing. Quite a few cars in the wall there off of turn number 4, but Shannon 1, Frank Zingen side by side. Same with the 42 of Sam Harrell and the 52 of Chris Brown. So a lot of numbers ending in 2 right here in this battle. We got the 02, the 62, the 42, and the 52. As Frank Zingen gets as close to the wall there as you possibly can without getting it. Maybe got a piece of it. Those two still going at it here. So Mike Kelly, Cody Meadows out in front, battle for third though, as here we go, biggest mover of the night so far. Joey Gattina trying to get around Jeff Pogo here. Gattina not going to be able to get it done here that time, so Pogo will hang on to P number 3 for the time being. Look at this, Chad Coleman involved in an earlier caution, able to get that car back repaired, back rolling, and Coleman, he is trying to drive his way back into the top 5 here as he tries to get to the inside of Rob Lowell through 1 and 2. Going to be able to do that here. So heads up, drag race down the back straightaway, but I think Chad Coleman will take over P number 6 and see what he can do for the top 5 here. So Anthony Calatoni had that spin during that last caution there. Was the only car involved, had to start tail end of the field here. Calatoni already trying to make his way up into the top 10. Calatoni currently 14th, trying to get 13th away from Charles Van Schuyt. Up towards the front here, Jeff Pogo has started to reel in the top 2. Was trying to put a move on Meadows. Meadows will defend for the time being, but everyone has moved up this Texas Motor Speedway. Meadows moved up, has a big run. Here goes Cody Meadows to the race lead. Meadows will drive it in there deep, try and slide in front of Kelly. Will get the job done, and off of turn number 4, new race leader Cody Meadows will lead at cross flags. halfway down, halfway home here tonight. As we will have to see what kind of pace Cody Meadows can have up in front. Devin McCaffrey here trying to get around Joey Gattina as McCaffrey continues to march to the front of this field. Gattina trying to defend. Gattina going to be able to shut the door there on the 29 for the time being, as here comes Chad Coleman as well. Coleman will try and put those left sides right on that inside white painted line. As once again, McCaffrey and Gattina duke it on out. McCaffrey almost into the outside wall, but somehow keeps it on off, and you can see the big time momentum the 29 machine has. McCaffrey will slot into fourth. Coleman looks like he will be able to get fifth away from Gattina. Yes, he does. Battle for 10th here on the Speedway. Steve Ritter trying to get around Bentley Glazer. So Ritter going to be able to get that job done there pretty nicely. As Cal Tony right there as well. Up towards the front though, 3-car battle starting to shake on up here. Cody Meadows leads over Jeff Pogo and Mike Kelly. And for the first time in a little bit of laps, Mike Kelly has a car out in front of him. Let's ride on board with Mike Kelly with a cockpit cam. See what he is doing to try and get around these two. You can see just how close these guys are racing, and if you take a look at the bottom left there, lap times have fallen off over a second already. 40 laps already on these tires, and lap times definitely slowing on up here tonight. So goes to show saving your stuff could work on out if you are patient. As here we go, Chad Coleman. He will try and make the move here on Mike Kelly. Cody Meadows still hanging on to the race lead, still taking up that top side here. Trying to keep the momentum rocking and rolling. Like I said, trying to defend from any sort of car getting to the outside. And Chad Coleman still trying to work that inside lane. And that's what it's going to be here late in a run. You're going to have to take your time. It's going to be a multiple lap pass to get a job done on the inside line compared to a car. Or else you just try and sail it in there, get to the outside if you can. As Meadows will once again run the high lane in 1 and 2. Jeff Pogo kind of more towards the middle. Mike Kelly to the bottom. Here through 3 and 4, Pogo usually goes down to the bottom. Cody Meadows right up against the fence there. And these guys just probably split this run, you know, would be pitting right about lap probably right about lap 90 or so. So pit window will start opening on up. I mean, if you want to do just 50 laps on these first tires, do a little bit more on the second. Pit window could open on up any point from here on out. But the risk always comes if you're the first to pit road. If you get that caution, you get trapped, a lap or two down. That could ruin a night, but you do get that pace advantage as we saw over a second lap as Cal Tony once again loose off of turn number 4. So Cal Tony still whatever was up with that race car to cause it to spin during that last caution. Looks like hasn't gone away. Cal Tony once again big time sideways in 1 and 2. Wow. Cal Tony somehow saving that 84 machine, but man, that right rear has to be hot. Not happy under that race car. He is definitely going to have to ride on around a few laps, let that thing cool on off, but heck of a save by Cal Tony there. Some battles a little bit deeper in the field here. Brandon Guerin and Steve Ritter side by side. Ritter, of course, runner-up last week at Bristol. Here tonight, the 61 car always loves some long runs. Would love for this race to run green to the end here. It looks like Ritter will move up to P number 9 here, as Guerin will hang on to the last spot inside the top 10. Right behind them, Charles Van Schaik able to get around the 36 machine. So these guys still all in a pretty good battle here. Deeper in the field here, Josh Parker in that 81 machine was up inside the podium for most of the night until he got loose. It looks like that 81 still not up to speed, still having some damage affecting the pace of the race car. So Parker's hoping for maybe a couple more cautions, trying to get that thing back to at least closer to 100%. So Anthony Cautoni here had that slide, able to start to make back up positions here, as now he starts to put a lot of pressure on the 36. Brandon Guerin looks like we'll lose a spot to the 41 right in front of them as well. Rob Lowe, Joey Gattina starting to duke it on out for the 7th position here. Looks like it will go to the 21 machine pretty easily that time. Another driver with some up and down of a night, the 42 machine of Sam Harrell. He is now currently running in that 6th position here, but starting to get chased on down just a little bit by that 21 machine. Once again, we get some good battles here on the Speedway. 4-car battle, maybe make it 6, because here comes Johnny Barker and Shannon Wood as well. Barker will keep that car rocking and rolling up in that top side, so the 6 of Barker still looking pretty sporty. Brandon Guerin big time loose on the bottom side there off of turn number 2. Looks like he will back it on down. Maybe coming to pit road. Yes, he is. Brandon Guerin going to be the first car to pit road here on 95, and I like the call. Was losing a little bit of track position. Why not be the first to roll the dice? You know, the pace wasn't there. Might as well set some new tires on it and see what you can do after that. We get some more calls to pit road. I think the next car coming on down, the 29 machine of Devin McCaffrey. McCaffrey will bring it on down. Trouble for our race leader, Cody Meadows, sideways on pit road. Same with Devin McCaffrey. So Meadows maybe trying to get to pit road there late. We'll loop that car around. Same with McCaffrey. McCaffrey will get out of there at least halfway decent, but both those cars going to lose a lot of time coming to pit road. As you can see there, Meadows already out of sorts. Let's take a look a little bit further on back here, see what happened. So Meadows coming to pit road. Just the transition from the banking, just had the back end step out from the race car. That McCaffrey probably seeing the smoke, reacting to that. So it looks like McCaffrey will roll from pit road. Meadows right behind him. Well, those two going to lose a little bit of time, but out in front, how about this as well? A lot going on, but Chad Coleman will be a new race leader here on lap 98. So Coleman having himself a great night, even involved with that incident. He is out there leading the way here for the time being. So now you have your first takers like Devin McCaffrey, Brandon Guerin, come down pit road. When is the next time? When do we see the next takers down on pit road? Looks like the 43 machine of Mike Kelly down to pit road. He'll be safely on down. Same with the 62 of Frank Zingen. So probably for sure in these next 5 laps or so, we will see quite a bit of cars down on pit road. One car big time sideways. Once again, Anthony Calatoni sideways on the racetrack. I'm surprised we haven't seen Calatoni here down on pit road. More drivers down though. Kip Easley as well as Joey Gattina. But out in front, man, Chad Coleman. He has some decent long run pace going and has stretched it out to about a second advantage over Jeff Pogo. And it sounds like Jeff Pogo here going to come to pit road. So we'll see the 97 machine give up P number 2. Looks like he is safely on down. Steve Ritter will follow as well. So once again, another lap down, another 2 cars down on pit road. So Devin McCaffrey, kind of the first driver up to song, still on the racetrack. Actually, let's make it Mike Kelly. Kelly just going into turn number 3 there. So you can see they're about a lap and a half behind our race leader. But of course, when it files out on pit road, well, let's see how it works on out. Interesting one here, Jeff Pogo versus Mike Kelly. Kelly will go on by up to song, but Pogo will have the tire advantage. Jeff Pogo, big time sideways. Pogo into the outside wall from the apron. He will come to a stop and get clobbered. Oh no. You hate to see something like that there, as Jeff Pogo trying to get that car up to a song as quickly as possible. Just the apron without the banking, nor the clean track. A lot of marbles and iRacing in today's day and age out there in the non-racing grooves, and that caught the 97 trying to run down Mike Kelly, but a tough break for Pogo there. As actually we got someone in the infield center here. I think we might have a couple people, as we'll try and grab a word here with the 7 machine of Chris Proger, once again making another stop here in the broadcast booth, but I'm sure not for the reasons he wanted. Hey Chris, You got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Hey Brett, what's going on? I was just talking to Rob.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I figured
he's down at the infield care center getting checked out too.
Oh man, yeah, I saw you were waiting in here for a minute. I was trying to wait for a good time, but man, there was a lot going on in that one. I mean, how was your race here tonight? Sadly, it comes to an early end, but like you said, as I heard, you got at least a few more laps than normal, right?
I did, yeah, and my pain was self-inflicted. I got loose on exit of 2. The car behind me couldn't react in time, and he just shoved me into the wall. Thought I got it all fixed. Came back out, started running laps, and didn't even hit a bump. Car just snapped loose, and I took it down, hit the inside wall, and got that fixed. I mean, there was only 20 seconds of optional, but that's what they can fix. So went out, did another lap, just about wrecked the car again. So I was like, yeah, that is it for the suspension. Day is done.
Dang, man, and you're looking really good. I mean, you drove up all the way to the top 4 there. That 7 machine looked like it was working good in that top lane.
It really was. Like you just had to lift and kind of roll through and wait for the bump, and then you could get back on throttle. And it was good. My tires didn't like me so much, but I mean, I also had the spin and all that stuff too. But yeah, I mean, it was a good run. Like I enjoy Old Texas. It is a fun track.
Oh, that it is 100%. And it seemed like this place was tricky though. Those bumps in that limited traction, man. We saw it get a lot of people, including yourself. Well, it was tough with turn 2. It just seemed like the back end would just step out, even just a little bit of wheel spin.
Yeah, it just depended on your angle on exit. Really, I think that was the deciding factor. If you were turning that wheel a little too much on exit, it would kind of skip across. I don't know if it was bottoming or what, but you could lose grip that way, and then just hit the bump too, and it'll get you.
Yeah, and how about this? Anthony Calatoni staying out on 40 lap older tires. He stayed on out, whereas the rest of the cars on the lead lap taking tires. What do you think about this call here?
What did Bateman say? It's a bold move, Cotton, or bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it plays out.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see if Calatoni has some wheel spin. Up through the gears he goes. So far, so good, though. We head back to green flag racing here, and yeah, Chris, I mean, the air's got to be big time a factor here at Texas, right? It's got to be so tough in this pack.
Yeah, so I think it was not Pogo 94, 97. Was that Pogo?
Yep.
I can't remember. Yeah, so Pogo was behind me a couple of times, and I could feel it. Like when we were running like 4th, 5th, and 6th in that group. Yeah, you could definitely feel the air.
Yeah, I could believe that here as we get a battle for the race lead. Of course, Jack Coleman trying to go around with those new tires. As some smoke towards the back. It looks like everyone's fanning on out, keeping it rolling though. Ooh, another sketchy moment.
Yeah, these things are hard to save though. If you don't save it right away, you're not saving it. It just there's no way to do it, and especially with the rear brakes the way they are, you're going for a ride if you try and lean on those brakes.
Yeah, it definitely seems like that is the case, as well as the bumps here. I mean, anytime this car bottoms out with the the low profile tires, as well as these cars being so close to the ground, that this thing bottoms out, like you said, you get one chance of saving it, and that's about it, right?
Yep, that's it. I mean, thankfully enough, when I did get loose that second time, I was able to bring it down below the line for the caution to throw, so that way it wasn't my fault.
Well, there you go. Well, Chris, sorry your night ended here once again on the earlier side, man. We're still rooting for you to finish. You got one coming for you. It's got to be coming, right?
We're not going for a win. We're going for a finish.
Exactly.
But I grabbed a couple of screenshots. The marketing department over at Motion is just absolutely amazing. They've gave me some updated graphics, so now I'm sending this off to them and gonna get some more tweaks. So the car might be looking a little different next week.
Alrighty, well that's exciting stuff. That machine looked pretty sporty tonight, so can't wait to see what it looks like here for the upcoming weeks. But yeah, Chris, always a great time talking with you. Before we let you go, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to on the broadcast here?
I just again want to say thank you to the wonderful people at Motion. They are amazing. Love everybody there. Love the corporate side, marketing side. Everybody's been great.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. Well, Chris, you, my man, have a great rest of the night, and hopefully next week, man, you have a little bit more of that luck on your side.
Yes, thanks.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was a driver of the number 7 machine, Chris Proger. We got a few more drivers to maybe get a few words with here, but a little bit of a race update here. Chad Coleman back to the point. Sam Harrell up to P number 2. Charles Van Schuyt up there in the podium. He sits third. Then Johnny Barker and Bentley Glasser going at it for 4th and 5th. So big time shakeups in the standings, especially when the caution comes out in the middle of green flag pit stops like it did. I believe the next driver we will try and get a word with here is the driver of the 21 machine of Rob Laws. Woo! You saw the blue 52 machine of Chris Brown there, big time sideways, but able to hang on to that race car. Brown currently in the 7th position here as we get a word with Rob Lowell here. Rob, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Hey Brett, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, my man. How you doing?
I'm really mad at myself there. I practiced pit stops, I don't know, 5-6 times there earlier in the day, and I was nailing them. And then we got going in that run, and I dialed some rear brake into the car to help it turn because I was actually building tight as the run went on. But the car felt great, and I was able to come through the field. I think I got up in the top 5 there before I pitted, and coming in, everything felt good, and I'm downshifted, and I have to go a little bit harder to the brake, slow it down. The minute I got on the brake just a tad bit harder, the back end came around, and I'm sliding inside wall, on pit wall. So not the run we wanted. It's like the second time it's happened to me this season. I've coming into the pits, so I got to put some time in and fix that issue.
Yeah, definitely a tough one. I mean, we saw Cody Meadows have an issue from the race lead coming to pit road. He actually got the apron looped. It caused, I think, Devin or McCaffrey to kind of react and spin it out as well. So you weren't the only car. And this place definitely has a tricky pit road. I mean, these cars are so fast and then get it woed up. What's it, 45, 50 here?
50. And the pit, the cone is out quite a bit farther than you expect. So it's extended out. The speed limit actually starts back. There's 2 cones there, and it's the one closest to turn 4 is where it starts timing you. So, yeah, just a mental mistake on my part.
Yeah, definitely a tough break, but luckily still a lot of time here in the season. You know, I think after this week, 4 more races to the playoffs. Rob, you're looking pretty good to be one of those drivers involved with that. What's the game plan heading into that? Because once that happens, you know, total reset and back fighting for a championship.
Yeah, so the way I'll just put on my admin hat for a minute. The way the playoffs are going to work, top 15 are going to reset to 0 points, and for every win you have, you get 1 bonus point. So I think right now there's a couple guys that would start off the season with three bonus points, and everyone else would be at 0, you know. And then you run three races. It's three round races, or 3 race rounds, and those bonus points only come into play in round 1. So when you get to round 2, no bonus points. It's just, hey, the top. We're gonna eliminate 5 guys, and then the top 10 race for round 2. They all start at 0 and they accumulate points, and then after the end of the 6th playoff race, you knock out 5 more, and then the top 5 race for the championship down the home stretch of 3 races. So I feel good. It definitely makes tonight a lot easier. I'm really happy with the race I had. Played around with my rig a little bit this week, rearranged my pedals, got where I'm just sitting a little more comfortable, and then the last few weeks, well, since I got this rig, I felt new wheelbase. I felt like the car always was getting free, and it didn't matter what I did. I just couldn't get rid of that free feeling on exit after about 10 laps. So I did some research, and SimMagic has some built-in filters that are turned on by default in the programming, and I went in and shut them off, so I'm getting more of the raw wheeled feel. And I felt like tonight I was back more to my usual self. I felt like I could manage the tires, manage a car. I could get off the turn 2 straight. So I'm hoping Indy's not a good track for me. I just never got around Indy, so we'll survive Indy next week, and then we'll look for a couple races for the playoff to figure it out and get going.
Yeah, definitely, man. And yeah, it sounds exciting. I'm definitely looking forward to these playoffs. And another kind of exciting thing, how about your teammate out here, Johnny Barker? We just saw him put the move on the 41 machine. He's up into the podium. He's looking pretty good.
Yeah, so this is playing out the way Johnny hoped. So he got caught in a bee's nest there, swatting bees about lap 20, 25, and he said, screw this, and he kind of bailed. He just went to the back. And then we all pitted there on that caution, like 35 or something, took tires, and he took tires there too. Then we got a caution around, I think, 65, and everyone kind of did the fake and were contemplating it, and he pitted. I asked him if he took tires. He said no, but what he was hoping was a caution would come out in the middle of the pit cycle and trap a bunch of guys a lap down, and then he'd be able to get tires with whoever's still in the lead lap and race it out from there. And man, it's like he had a crystal ball, you know. Calatoni hit it for tires on like 35 with us, everyone else, and then he got loose there, and he slid them pretty good, and then I think he put a set on at 65 or 67 when he came out, and he was leading the air when Pogo wrecked, and I don't think he has a set. I don't think he only has one set in the pit, so you don't want to put them on lap 100 in case it's a late race caution. So him staying out trapped all those guys a lap down, and it put Johnny right where Johnny wanted to be strategy-wise. So, I think Johnny's looks like he's going to move here on Sammy for second pretty quick. He looks like he's considerably better than Sammy right now. So don't be surprised to see Johnny here get on the podium or even the top 2 here, or maybe go up there and challenge Coleman. Johnny's pretty good at saving tires. I was really happy with what my tires were on both runs, and Johnny's were better than mine. So
yeah, Johnny Barker.
Hoping Johnny gets a good finish. He really needs to turn his luck around. He's had crap luck all season.
Yeah, that he has, and right now looking very good. And like you said, Rob, able to chase down that 42 machine, now starting to put on the pressure. And how tough is it here tonight? It seems like that air always a factor here on Texas, right? Especially when you're running right behind someone like this.
Yeah. So if I was when I get over in our chat, I'll kind of give Johnny some what I would do here. But he did it there. You need to keep that left front down below the guy getting in, no matter what. Even if you had the shallow entry up, you need to keep the air on the left front. These cars really benefit from the left front. A couple seasons ago, I worked a little bit with Zach Novak, and Zach pounded that into my head to keep the air on the left front at all costs. So Johnny's doing what he's got to do. I think there's a couple guys. The 14's been really fast all night. He was really impressive early. He drove from the back up into the top 4. So look for Joey to come up here too, I think. But yeah, it should be interesting. And Mike's in a fight through here. I'm not sure what he's up to, but Mike's been super fast since he's come over here and run for the Sunday nights, and he's been super fast in the Busch League too.
Yeah, he's definitely looking for 2 in a row. Picked up his first win last week, was the lucky dog, so he's at least on the lead lap. He's up to 8th here currently, but yeah, Rob, Indy next week, you said not your favorite track, but how you feeling besides Indy with the last couple races here left?
I gotta look what they are. I think one's North Wilkesboro, right? Let me look here. Get the schedule out and look at it.
Yep, so it's Talladega, Darlington, and North Wilkesboro after Indy next week.
So Indy, like I said, I'd rather jam a blunt needle in my eye than race at Indy, but I put on the schedule because guys do like it. Talladega, that's a crapshoot. Looking forward to Darlington, definitely. And I'm looking really forward to North Wilkesboro. But then I kind of feel like we get into some of my better tracks going into the playoffs. Chicagoland, Gateway, and then Old Atlanta there in the start of the final round. There's some similarities between Old Atlanta and here. I saw some guys in practice early in the race here tonight trying to run turn one, like you run turn one at Old Atlanta. But it seems if you try to take that higher entry and then cut the middle down to the bottom on exit, you build really bad loose here, and that's where some of the guys were getting in trouble early when they were spinning off turn two. So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting end of the season, and then I think we're only gonna take like a 2-week break, and then we're gonna go into our summer series because Sim 500 shut down their Sunday night program over here supporting us, and we're gonna, like them, we're gonna run year round if it's possible. So I think we'll have a couple-week break, maybe a month break, and then we'll jump right back into it.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. Yeah, season number 7. Can't believe it's already that far along, but that's awesome stuff. So, Rob, before we let you go and continue to wrap up here tonight, anyone you want to give a shout out to on the broadcast here?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to our longtime sponsor on the series. He sponsors some races this year already. So Jeff Barefoot, Riptide Radio. I want to thank BG Graphix, Brandon Garan, GStone Motors, Stone Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. They sponsor the 358 Modified Series on Tuesday nights. I want to thank Joy from Sim 500. I want to thank the Drivers Council is Joey Gattina and Steve Ritter. They review the incidents with me and Brandon because we're the admins and look at incidents on the track. They put some time in and help us look at what we need to address, what we don't need to address. And most of all, Brad, I want to thank you. You do a great job. We got the waiting room or the infield care center now. Talk to guys that follow the race, and want to thank Turn 3 and Roger on Tuesday nights. Hope he's feeling better. He was sick this past week. We had to push the race out, the schedule out a week, but you guys do a great job at Turn 3, and are blessed to have you guys as a partner in all this.
Yeah, and we appreciate, man, the work you do behind the scenes with the league, as well as, being part of the race and action that we get to enjoy. So, Rob, we look forward to talking to you here once again in the future. But you, my man, have a great rest of your night, and we'll talk to you on the flip side.
Thanks, Brett.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. So, yeah, some battling going on out on the Speedway. Johnny Barker here trying to get around Sam Harrell for that second position. Looks like gonna be able to clear him there with now 15 to go. So Johnny Barker up to P number 2. The battle of the drivers that got caught a lap down. Joey Gattina currently in the lucky dog spot. Remember, Mike Kelly was the lucky dog, so Kelly has been able to only drive up into 8th here with starting tail end of the field. So a lot of drivers hoping for a late race caution to get them back on the lead lap, because as you can tell with the ticker on the left, only 12 cars on the lead lap. That's what we get sometimes when those cautions come on out in the middle of green flag pit stops. Another driver we were gonna try and talk to. We'll see if we can get a word with him. It was the driver of the 97 machine of Jeff Pogo. So we'll see if Pogo is down to call the end of this one here, as Sam Harrell going to get passed by Charles Van Schaik, as well as maybe Shannon Wood as well. But here we go. Jeff, do you got a copy?
Oh, buddy, I do.
Alrighty, man. We saw what happened to you there. What happened out from your point of view?
Just ran out of talent. I went from the flat to the little bit of banking that there was below the actual racing surface, and when I did it, just got the rear end of the car loose, lifted up that left inside tire, and I tried saving it, overcorrected, just like I did at I don't remember where it was, Auto Club maybe, or wherever, when I hard righted it into the outside wall. So nobody's fault but mine. Ran out of talent. Feel bad I ruined, I think it's the 15 race. He T-boned me, but not his fault. Nobody expects a car to go from the apron up to the wall and back down. So just ran out of talent, man. It's bound to happen eventually.
Yep, I mean, and it gets so tough, especially green flag pit stops. You want to be as quickly as you can off. You see the 43 machine driving on the way, and yeah, it just gets so tough because no one really practices pit road too much. As one car in the inside wall here, that was Shannon Wood got a big piece of it, but we stay green flag. Man, once again, we see drivers struggling with traction.
Yeah, it was, I want to say difficult, but I think it was harder on the earlier run. Car seemed to be pretty loose off, as you can tell from the broadcast. But once you got some green flag laps on the tires, it wasn't bad, man. There for a while when I was running the high line, you know, I was the only car above that top seam in 1 and 2, and then you could cut down and have a huge run and not get loose. Well, then Cody and them saw me even higher than them, and I would assume that's what made them move up there, saw that I was doing that, so then I kind of had to change my approach. And man, the dirty air in these cars is just, it plays such a huge role. Once Cody got into the lead, you know, I could get up to him, but I'd have to change my line, and I just couldn't carry the speed off the corners like he could be on the top, and I couldn't follow him up there because then I'd get too tight. So it was pretty much just to, you know, try to keep clean air on the nose and see if I could stay out front. Because like I told Jim earlier in the night, you know, I'm thinking long run, you know, you want to win the race, but you're also not racing the guys that are ahead of you. You're racing for points. I'm the points leader, so I'm trying to think, okay, these guys ahead of me aren't nowhere close to me in points, so be smart about it. But then I go run out of talent, and I'll finish towards the back. So this will be a big one.
Yeah, definitely not the night you wanted to, and probably not the night Hoonigan Racing wanted to overall. You know, coming in, a lot of expectations, great qualifying effort, but you at least have one bright spot. Your man Chris Brown out here running in 4th currently.
Yeah, someone's got to hold this team together. That's for sure. Because me and Jim didn't do it tonight.
Yeah, and of course Brandon Guerin getting trapped a lap down. He still currently is a lap down because after the most recent caution, you know, no other cautions, even with a few incidents. I actually got to go back and rewatch the Kip Easley and Frank Zing, and those two got together. But now with 5 to go, I think this race, unless someone gets loose, right, could be over with.
Yeah, I mean, all the guys that were up front were deserving tonight for sure. So hopefully they put on a good show. You're probably not going to want to hear this, but Chris Brown's not going to be at Talladega either. I convinced him to go to Daytona with me for the 24, so it's just going to be Brandon and Jim at Talladega.
Oh man, gonna be half the amount of cars. Probably not what you guys want at a super speedway, but yeah, Talladega in 2 weeks. Next week, Indianapolis. How you feeling about that place? Because like we even saw tonight, when it comes to these 1.5 miles, 2 miles, man, that 97 machine seems to be firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, man, anything over 1.5 miles, it's where I really shine. I still hate these cars, but I feel good for Indy. I like flat tracks, so that fits right in my ballpark, and I've always been good there. So it's going to be hard with this car because, you know, the corners are kind of a 1-lane corner. So aero's going to be huge there. Getting a good qualifying effort is going to be important.
Yeah, that it is. Well, Jeff, we appreciate you taking your time here, chat with us. We'll let you go here after a quick word. Anyone you want to give a shout out to, and we'll let you coach Chris here to the finish.
Just you, Brett, man. Thanks for sticking along and doing this, and appreciate all the interviews with the Infield Care Center and finishing and everything. So finish off your broadcast. Have a good night.
All right, thanks you as well, Jeff. I'm sure we'll be talking to you again.
See you, buddy.
All right, awesome stuff. That was the driver of the 97 machine of Jeff Pogo, and that battle for 4th far from over as Bentley Glasser able to get back around Chris Brown here. So Glasser back up into 4th. Brown will hang on to 5th for the time being, but Sam Harrell and Shannon Wood still able to keep some pace in it. And that time by at the start finish line, popsicle sticks up in the air. It is 2 laps to go. Chad Coleman out in front with over a 4-second advantage. Coleman just wants to see this white flag, get this race done and over with. We got a chance to take a look there a little bit with the Frank Zingen and Kip Easley. It looked like maybe some side draft gone wrong, but definitely 2 cars almost choosing the same lane. As here we go, Chad Coleman will see the white flag one more time around for the 38 machine. Eli Raposa will stay up and out of the way, and off of turn number 4. Chad Coleman has been close before, but here tonight, Chad Coleman is an 802 winner here and will pick up his first career win. Johnny Barker will bring it home second, and Charles Van Schaik will round out the podium. Man, some great racing out there here tonight. Definitely not an easy one, all things considered, but Chad Coleman being involved in a incident earlier, able to rebound and pick up the career win number 1, as Chad Coleman will bring that car to the front straightaway, and we'll get ready to burn it on down here at Texas Motor Speedway. As Chad Coleman will celebrate on the front stretch, career win number 1 in the books here. Last week we saw it was Mike Kelly. Here tonight it was Chad Coleman. So don't go anywhere, folks. We still got some cool stuff underway. We got the post-race show where we will be talking with our top 3 finishers. So after a quick commercial break, don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back with the post-race show.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams, race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we are back here at Texas Motor Speedway and chatting with our first driver we can talk to. Not seeing the 41 machine, at least right now, for interviews, so we will jump on up to our runner-up finisher, that being the 6 machine of Johnny Barker here. Hey Johnny, it's Brett the Jet in the booth here. You got a copy?
I got you.
Alrighty, man. First and foremost, how are we feeling after 150 laps here at Texas?
Man, that was a rough one there. Lord, that was a rough one. That car or at least mine, it got so loose. I was just hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, this one definitely seemed like it made each driver earn it. And like you said, man, it seemed like a loose car had to be on your toes on every corner exit, because we saw multiple times here tonight, turn 2, turn 4, it didn't matter. This thing was getting sideways if you weren't perfect.
Oh yeah, it didn't. Or at least with mine, you get out just a little too hard on the gas, and before you know it, you completely sideways.
Yeah, so what was the key kind of for you to keep this car underneath you? Because a lot of people would think, well, just move up the track. Well, moving up the track seemed like it could make the car looser later in the corner then and make it almost more out of control if you weren't careful.
Yeah, I tried to move up high because I seen some running up there thinking that it would help that. And like you said, it actually made mine worse. Uh, so to me, it was just rolling that bottom and feathering the gas back easy. And that's about midway through, that's what I started doing. And it helped it a lot.
Yeah, and it seemed like this thing had some long run speed. I mean, the classic Johnny Barker, right? The six car coming alive in a long run. And luckily, we had one there late in this one, able to drive all the way up into second, man. That was awesome to see.
Yeah, it was fun. That was a fun race. The luck I've had, well, the whole Wolfpack team, we've had terrible luck this year. So getting a second is just like getting a win for me tonight. It's been a rough season.
Yeah, that it has. And I think I was trying to look on back. I think no podiums for you so far this season, which was kind of mind boggling to myself when I had to double check it because I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, like I said, I've had good runs and a lot of mistakes on my own and some of others, but it's just been a rough year so far. So to get on the podium, it's like I said, I'm thrilled with that.
Yeah, it definitely is a good sign. Playoffs now just 4 weeks away. And with that, a little bit of a reset. So you, my man, could get the momentum rocking and rolling here at the right time of the season, though.
Well, I sure hope so. I need it. I need a luck change, so maybe this done it.
Yeah, hopefully, man. And of course, next week we head to Indianapolis Motor Speedway, another kind of bigger track, high tire wear, high corner speeds. How you feeling about that place?
I'm hit or miss there. I've had good runs there, and I had awful runs there. So there's gonna be some practice this week for sure.
Yeah, I bet so as well. And yeah, I definitely want to keep this momentum rocking and rolling with you. I mean, there towards the end, Coleman had such a lead. I think the only way was a caution. Were you hoping for a caution or just say, hey, you know what? This was a long race. Let's just get it over with. We'll take this and move on to next week.
Oh, without a doubt. When I got to second, I tried to run hard a few laps, and I seen that there was. I was like, okay. I was started watching my gap to third, and Rob had gotten no wreck, so he was kind of giving me some pointers. So I told Rob, I was like, look, I'm happy with second. I hope we don't get no caution. Let's just finish this thing out and finish second. I'd be happy.
Yeah, exactly. Able to do just that, finishing in the second position. And Johnny, you qualified pretty good here tonight. I think you rolled off fifth, so qualified inside the top five. So the six car had some speed, and luckily the strategy call, working on out for you to stay long in that green flag run, right?
Yeah, I told my teammates that the caution we had, I said I'm towards the back anyhow. I said I'm gonna get some fuel, and hopefully it'll play out in my hand. And sure enough, I still had like I think 15 to 18 laps left when the caution come out. So I was gonna run it to empty just for a case of caution come out.
Yep, and luckily it did. You're able to see into that crystal ball here tonight and walk away with a P number 2. And yeah, Johnny, from last season, any new updates on the sim stuff, or are you still running the same stuff from season number 5?
I'm still running the same stuff. I did upgrade the PC, and the other one it was so far out of date. So now I can run my graphics up, and also that was a big upgrade for me.
Yeah, there you go. Can start to see some of the cool stuff on track, and especially on the dirt side of things, and even the pavement now with the marble edition being so kind of prominent, at least to me, it really helps to see where to kind of not put the race car into these corners, right?
Right. It was night and day. Rob kept telling me like you ain't gonna believe it when you when you upgrade, and I finally bit the bullet and done it, and it was a big change.
Yeah, I bet it was, and a good change in that. Get to see some more cool stuff and whatnot. But yeah, Johnny, Always a great time talking to you, my man. Once again, congrats on the runner-up finish here tonight. But before we let you go and celebrate this P number 2, we're going to hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you'd like to give a shout-out to here from Texas.
I definitely want to give a shout out to my teammates with the Wolfpack Racing. We always work good together, so big shout out to them for the help. Want to thank you for the broadcast. Fixing to kick back and watch it, and all the 802 League sponsors.
Alrighty, well, awesome stuff, Johnny. You, my man, have a great rest of your night, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again here in the future.
I sure hope so. Have a good one.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was the driver of the 6 machine, Johnny Barker. Now we'll head up to our 3rd place finisher. That was the 41 machine here of Charles Van Schaik. Charles, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, I got a copy.
Alright, before I get too far in it, do you prefer Chuck or Charles, and how do you say your last name? Because I've been afraid I've been saying it wrong the whole time here.
I'll put all the money you have been. No one ever gets it right. I go by Chuck, and it's Van Schaik.
Van Schaik. Yep, we are way off from that, so we'll get it right here from here on out. But, man, first and foremost, how are you feeling after 150 laps here at Texas?
Fortunate for that caution that trapped a lot faster drivers down. I could not figure this track out. Until like the last 10, 15 laps where I was able to go full bore on older tires and realizing I wasn't going to die coming out of the turns. I struggled 80% of that race. Just trying to make sure I didn't look stupid and cause a caution because I self-spun. But yeah, I mean, it was a fun track, better than the new Texas, because that's basically 1 lane and 1 and 2, maybe 1.5 lanes. So the Legacy was definitely the right call.
Yeah, this track, we always, just like, racers, we complain about the old stuff, then we get the new stuff. It's even worse. It's like, let's go back to the old stuff. Luckily, this track is on here because, yeah, I think 90% of the people prefer this layout versus the new one.
No, 100%. And with these cars on the new one, there's shifting involved, and I hate shifting in these cars, but on some tracks it's necessary. I think we're going to Indy next week. I'm sure people will be shifting. The new Texas, there's definitely shifting in 1 and 2, help rotate and get some speed coming out. But yeah, it was entertaining, definitely entertaining. Just I mean, if anyone was watching me drive, I mean, I was on the edge of my seat constantly. Trying to control it coming out of 2. Not so much 4, I was able to gas up, but 2 was just my kryptonite. And anytime I was catching and making a run on people, I'd get behind them and then just get some air, get the air cut off and come out of 2 and just totally have no control of the car and have to let off and give up any momentum just so I didn't kill anybody.
Yeah, turn 2 definitely got out and bit a ton of drivers here tonight, but luckily you weren't one of them. And man, I got to tell you what, how close were you to pitting during that green flag pit stop? Because that call staying on out, worked out really well for this 41 machine, all things considered.
Believe it or not, I had like 20 some laps left because the pace I was running, there was a point where I was with 145 to go, I could make it on 1 stop. I was getting about 73 to 74. Just on the pace I was running because I was so slow. But yeah, my plan was just to run long, and that was the plan. Hopefully a caution came out, trap some guys down, or at least give me a tire advantage because guys would have to take the wave around. And, it helped out even better that Anthony stayed out and kept everyone, a bunch of the guys lapped down. So that was huge. That helped me out big time so I didn't have people in my rear view. I forget whoever finished second, I told him, I said, just go around the outside. I didn't mean it wasn't a block. It's just, I was so uncomfortable. If he went under me, there was a chance I might've lost it and took him out.
Yeah, it definitely was the case here tonight. We saw it multiple times, even people getting loose and then other people not having enough time to react, getting into the back of them. But yeah, Chuck, here tonight, you started deep in the field, 23rd. You moved up 20 positions, man, when it's all said and done. One of the biggest movers. So how were you able to go from the back here, especially with, as you mentioned, too, this air package, this dirty air makes it so tough, man. And even before the cautions really start flying, you kind of drove on up to that top 10 mark.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was running such a slow pace. I think Anthony got loose and spun out or hit the wall 4 times, and then 10 laps later, he's passing me again. So, each time. So it was just more just keeping the car under me and not getting caught up in anything. And I wasn't fighting anybody. If someone, had a run on me, I wasn't even attempting to fight them, just let them go because I just had nothing for them 90% of the race. And like I said, I didn't want to look like a total idiot there wrecking on my own. So I just was basically out for a Sunday drive. Caution came out at the right time, and it fell my way. If the caution didn't come out, I was probably a top 15, maybe top 12 car. So I'll take the benefit of the caution and get a top 3.
Exactly, man. You got to take them when they're given to you, because that's usually, at least in memory, especially of racers, right? You don't remember the ones that you always remember the ones that were taken from you.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, it's just I think I pit like 17 times. I was just coming down and just going to the back of the field in the beginning. That's how uncomfortable it was, and just staying out of everyone's way. And this race had benefited me. Bristol, I think I finished top 10, but probably could have finished a little better there. And I think the other race was the first race. I forget what race was the first one we all joined, but that was another one. I think it was Pocono. Another one. It's one of my better tracks, and just bad timing on pit strategy, and took a little right front damage. And at that track, it's like a super speedway, so any damage there, I was fighting it. So
Oh yeah. But no, awesome stuff, man. And yeah, you're right. We're looking at the notes here. You came down pit road 9 times tonight. It was actually the second most, because it looks like Brian Wortman came down 12 times. So you were up there in the amount of times you came down pit road, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, once I got up into the top 10, and once it got later, I stayed out a couple times, but I pitted both times. I even came down and topped off just to totally get to the back, just to stay out of people's way. So
Yep, for sure. Well, awesome job here tonight, Chuck. And I always like to get a little bit of insight from drivers, and one good question I like to ask drivers is, what kind of got you into sim racing or racing in general for you?
just going to the track when I was a kid with my dad and brother. I've been going to Dover since 88, 87. So take my kids now. I have a diecast company, sponsor drivers, deciding what I'm doing for Daytona. Most likely we're going. Just don't know if I'm going to get my logo on a car this year. But yeah, just growing up around it, having that weekend every weekend. My dad was an over-the-road truck driver, so we didn't get to spend much time with him, but we knew come September in Dover, it was me, my brother, and then eventually my sister. It was just our weekend with our dad. So tied in to that, and then just following it all the way through, watching Harry Gant, and then Harry Gant, Earnhardt Jr., and then on up.
Man, that's awesome. So that is definitely awesome stuff. And of course, with the love of that, had to try it on yourself on some sim setup stuff.
Oh yeah. It started back COVID. It was during COVID, and my brother messaged me saying, "This is back on console," and he said Heat 4 or something was like free on Game Pass, and I was like, I haven't played a racing game in a long time, so I got that. The next thing I ordered a cheap rig and a cheap wheel, and then because I was doing on control, and the next thing a couple guys hopped over to iRacing, and then I hopped over there. I've only been on iRacing 4 years, maybe 4 or 5 years. So it's just something to pass the time.
Yep, for sure, man. And yeah, once the hook's set, it's tough to get rid of it. As I tell people, you get a lot of the thrills compared to the real life stuff just on the sim. It's pretty impressive how immersive it can be.
Yeah, definitely.
Alrighty, well, awesome stuff, Chuck. Once again, congrats on the podium finish. First podium finish for you in the 802 stuff. So, once again, congrats on that. But before I let you go, man, we're going to go hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you'd like to give a shout out on the broadcast here tonight from Texas.
Yeah, of course, for you guys for the great broadcast, to the admins for putting up with the adult children in the league, and that goes for every league. Admins is the toughest thing to do because you're dealing with adult kids. To my teammates down at Turn 1 with Mike, Scott, and my Sammy, who's one of my Goat Racing Diecast drivers. To my company, Goat Racing Diecast. Use Goat Racing 23, 10% off. GoatRacingDiecast.com. I got sponsorships available, customs, pre-orders, new, previously owned apparel, you name it, we have it. We do lives every Sunday on Facebook. We did one this afternoon, and we're doing giveaways and everything else. So come check it out. And like I said, I have 9 drivers. You see anyone that you're familiar with, go on and use their promo code. That's how they get paid. And then and if any leagues are looking for sponsorships or a cool giveaway for championship, I do customs of championship cars. So, but yeah, other than that, and Joey's a big part of getting a lot of sim guys over. I haven't raced with sim for a while, but that's where I met Joey and Mike and Scott and all those guys. So I see the league is growing, and that's always a good thing.
Yep, for sure, man, and I love to see it as well. So thanks again for you, first and foremost, being part of the show here these last couple weeks. We always look forward to seeing the 41 machine out there, and congrats again on the podium finish here. So we will see you next week at Indianapolis, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again here in the future, my man.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was our third place finisher, the 41 machine of Charles Van Schuyck. As we now head on over to Victory Lane to talk to the man of the hour. It is the driver of the 38 of Chad Coleman. Chad, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, man, I got you.
Alrighty, first and foremost, man, how are we feeling down in Victory Lane after 150 laps here at Texas?
We're good. Feel pretty good now. Feel a lot better than I did about lap, 35 or so when I was sliding down the back straightaway sideways. But
yeah,
thought we were in trouble after that one.
Yeah, but, exactly. I mean, how much damage was on the race car? Because once you came back out, it seemed like that thing wasn't too much affected. You were slicing and dicing your way back through the field in no time.
Oh, it only had about 10 seconds of damage. I got pretty lucky. I kept it off of everything for the most part. Maybe scratched the rear bumper a little bit, and nobody hit me. So that was the big thing. And then yeah, we lined up 23rd or 24th, I believe, and got lucky. We missed a few spins in front of us right there, and as that run went on, we just drove up to the front. About the time I'd ran the leaders down, about the time pit stop started, I was passing them, and they started pitting, and I was like, well, that's way too early. So I was staying out, and lo and behold, the caution come out. So I would have rather seen it stay green, just because it's a lot of fun to go out there and try to run some people down like that. But I'll take it either way I can get it, man. I was been trying to win the double over here for like 3 weeks, and I'd win the Xfinity car race and lose the Cup race to somebody. And then Friday night, I was running the leader down again. I'd called him every run from so far back, and cause he'd pit earlier than me, and I'd run him back down and about pass him, and then he'd pit. And then the other night, he pitted, and I pitted right after he did, about 2 seconds behind him, and ran up on a lap car and got my nose chopped off and had to jump out of the gas and went through the grass. So he was able to finish in front of me. So I lost that one, and then come back tonight and figured I'd get a little revenge.
Yeah, you definitely got some redemption here with an up and down night to begin with. But man, I tell you what, Chad, this 38 machine has been on the money since you jumped in the league. I mean, ever since you jumped in, you finished up in the top 5 every single time. And here tonight, knocking down and getting on out of the way, the first career win as well.
Oh yeah, I definitely like coming over here and running with the Friday night and Sunday night deal, because really we ain't got really anything going on right now with any other leagues or anything else. So I appreciate these guys putting on these races, and I appreciate these guys letting me race with them too. I know they've got a cap, and we're right there at it. And I've promised them that there was no like dumping iRating on my end. I'd been running a bunch of NIS races, and the last 2 races of the season just happened to not go my way, and I lost some iRating. But so I appreciate them letting me run. So just got to thank all the admins and everybody here with 802 and everybody with Sim 500 and all those guys. Just thank all the admins for everything they do. And thank you for broadcasting this deal. We went back and watched the Bristol one and the Pocono one. We just kind of skimmed through them. You do a really good job with what you do here. You got a good production, good product. And just tell everybody that, if anybody's watching and ain't signed up, there's a race coming up. I believe we qualify for it next weekend. It's called the Interleague 500. It's going to be at Daytona. And it's I think it's $10 entry fee. And right now, I think top prize to win that deal right now is around $250. And there's a limited slots available. I think there's probably 6 left. So if you think you got what it takes, come on out, spend your $10 and get in.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot of money in sim racing to be a part of that deal. And what was that? I thought I heard almost like over $1,000 in total prize money or something. That's a good chunk of change for some sim stuff.
Oh yeah, I've heard that it could pay back through the top 10, and then there's some stuff for like winning the pole and different stuff like that. So I mean, it's a good deal. Sounds like it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think there's 3 leagues that are in on it together. I believe it's I know Sim 500 is for sure. That's the league I'm mainly a part of, and then I believe these guys here at 802 are part of it. And there's one more. I want to say it's Chop Shop. I hope I didn't get that wrong, but I believe that's it. But I think those are the 3 that's doing it. So qualifying for it is next Sunday. It starts next Sunday, and the duels and stuff are Monday and Tuesday. And I believe the race is the following Saturday, and it's an afternoon race. I think it starts around 1:00. So it'll be interesting. You can run that race, and then once that race is over with, if you finish it, it'll be about 4, 5 o'clock. Go get dinner.
Exactly. Time's on out pretty nice. And here tonight, Chad, seemed like you had a pretty good time here picking up the win. Last week at Bristol, we saw you, finish P number 4 after leading some laps. So I even said it during the broadcast. It seemed like it was going to be a matter of time before his 38 machine ended up in victory lane on Sunday nights.
Yeah, thanks, man. I mean, it's pretty good on the long run. That's really where it was. I was pretty good on long run at Bristol last week too, and we just never really got much of a long run. But man, tonight this was fun. I love this old Texas racetrack. This is one of my favorite tracks in the game. I can't believe they ruined it in real life and in the game. But gladly with this thing, we still have it, so we can run the old one and iRacing if we choose. And man, it's one of my favorite racetracks to run. You seen it tonight. We ran from wall to wall, and they were doing that in the real life too. I don't know why in the hell they would change a racetrack that raced like it. That just seems stupid, but that's NASCAR, and as you can see from recent dealings that they don't make very smart decisions.
Yeah, that they don't. They definitely do a lot of head scratching decisions, and the classic saying with NASCAR, right? Their only consistency is being inconsistent.
Yeah, that is correct.
Well, awesome stuff here, Chad. Once again, congrats on the win here tonight. And I like to get a little bit of info about drivers, especially when we get to chat with them. So I don't believe I asked you this before. What do you got for like a sim setup?
I got a Sim Magic Alpha Mini and a set of V3 pedals and a desk chair that's probably older than some of the drivers that we ran with in here, and a desk that's probably about the same age.
Awesome stuff. Well, yeah, I've heard some good stuff about those wheelbases and whatnot. It seems like a pretty nice product.
Oh yeah, I have no regrets at all in spending the money to buy this thing. I think I've had it now for a couple of years, and it's the direct drive stuff. If you don't have one now, you're probably at a disadvantage. They're so good, so smooth, so accurate.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. As Sims have gotten better with that, and even the technology in them, I think, yeah, definitely is the way to go. And just to have, like you said, the reaction time, it being instantaneous, probably helps here big time tonight with those bumps as well as this car getting loose, because, man, it seemed like this thing got loose. You had one tiny chance of saving it, and it was game over.
It did. It drove really good, but there was times to where it would snap out from under you, and you had one chance to catch it. And if you didn't, you was in trouble.
Yeah, 100%. It definitely looked like that was the case. But Chad here, once again, congrats again on the win, my man. It was definitely well-deserved over a 4-second advantage when it's all said and done. So, awesome stuff to see. So, before we let you go and celebrate down in Victory Lane, we're going to go hand over the mic to you one last time and thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you'd like to give a shout-out to here.
I just got to thank Joey Gattina and everybody with Sim 500 and 802 that made this collaboration between the two leagues work. This is a lot of fun to do. Thank you for the broadcast. We'll go back and give it a look probably tomorrow, maybe Tuesday, depending on when we get some downtime. I got to thank Josh Parker and Richard Beasley for racing with me tonight. It's good to have them race with me. It's been a while since we all three got to race together. They had some bad luck, but other than that, just James Collins, who painted this car. He also painted the Trans Service car I'll be running here in a couple of weeks. So give a shout out to him. Anybody who needs a car painted, dude does an amazing job at a really good price. So if you need him, just look him up on Facebook or something. Just James Collins. And yeah, man, that's about it.
Alrighty, well, awesome stuff, Chad. Once again, congrats on the win here tonight. Career win number 1 on Sunday, done and over with. And I'm sure, man, if you keep on this pace, we'll be talking to you again here in the near future.
I hope so.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. Well, Chad, have yourself a great rest of the night, and we'll see you next week at Indy.
You too. Thanks, man.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was our race winner picking up his first career win, the 38 machine of Chad Coleman, getting the job done here tonight. So let's run through tonight's race results, get things wrapped on up. First and foremost, we got to thank everyone for being here tonight, tuning on in here live or the replay. Appreciate each and every one of you tuning on in, as well as everyone in the YouTube chat lands as well. Kenny, Chris, and the old Cody Meadows fan club. So here tonight, here's how the Lonestar 225 will end things on off. Chad Coleman will pick up the win, Johnny Barker in second, and Charles Van Dyke in third. Bentley Glasser will finish a career best of fourth, and Chris Brown able to round out the top 5 here. Shannon Wood will finish 6th, 7th going to Scott Simley. Sam Harrell will rebound to 8th. Gerald Livingston, I believe, first ever top 10 96 machine, will finish 9th. And Ron Holyfield will knock off another top 10. He will finish in 10th. Mike Kelly seemed like one of the dominant cars here tonight. Will finish 11th. 12th going to Brian Wertman. Joey Gattina, the first car, 1 lap down. Steve Ritter in 14th. Cody Meadows here in P number 15. Devin McCaffrey will finish 16th, 17th going to Brandon Guerin. Anthony Calatoni in 18th. Frank Zingen finishes in 19th, and rounding out the top 20 is Eli Raposa. Steve Vest will finish 21st, 22nd going to Kip Easley. Landon Audit 23rd, Rob Lowell 24th, and Jeff Pogo in P25. 26th going to Josh Parker, Chris Proger 27th, Richard Beasley in 28th, Jim Ott 29th, Nick Larson 30th, Reba Kane 31st, and Kenny Reel rounding out the field here tonight. So, yeah, that will do it here tonight from Texas. Lonestar 225 in the books, and now just 4 races left before the playoffs kick on underway next Sunday night. Be sure to tune in same time, same place as these drivers take on Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It will be another good one with that one as well. So we, of course, got to thank the 802 iRacing League, as well as all the drivers putting on the show for us to enjoy each and every Sunday, as well as BG Graphix, Riptide Radio, GStone Motorsports, as well as Stone, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Turn 3 Racing Network also is partnered with Premier Setup Shop, so you can check them out with the link in the description. And if you don't want to buy anything, a click with the referral code will go a long way and will be greatly appreciated. So that'll do it here tonight. I've been Brett the Jet in the booth with Turn 3 Racing Network, so be sure to tune into Turn 3 as we get in a nice tongue twister late in this one for some great sim racing action. So that'll do it here tonight, everyone. Take care, stay safe, have a great rest of your week, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.